The past week has been a real ordeal for me. It technically stretches into the past few months, but mostly just this past week that has been happening. And I really wanted to talk about it. I wanted to get my words out there. And I'm just glad that things didn't escalate even further than this, what has happened in the past week. Now, people who follow me on Twitter already know. But for those on my YouTube channel, they really don't know, and they don't really know the situation. This whole video will be covering the topic of DarkSage861. Now, he is a YouTuber who's been on YouTube for a good amount of time. I only recently met him a few months ago. And then I realized that he was making a dub mod for BlazBlue Central Fiction. And I thought that was a cool thing. I think he used to be a commenter on my videos before the whole dub mod stuff, because I never actually checked out his content before until I came across it one day when searching up BlazBlue and the search bar. So when I found it, I was like, oh man, this is cool. They're actually making a dub mod. It's so awesome. And so I commented on his video, I talked about it, and I really thought it was an interesting idea because obviously BlazBlue Central Fiction didn't have a dub, so I figured a dub mod would be the next best thing. I even put it on my community tab trying to gravitate people towards it so they can see this stuff, because I think this is a cool idea. So everything was fine. My first meeting with him was fine. We talked. I even joined his Discord where he would just work on the dub mod itself. He would do some streams, stuff like that. And he would regularly come on my videos, because I wasn't aware of him at first. Because sometimes, commenters, they come and go. Sometimes you see them frequently. Sometimes you never see them again. DarkSage was a person I didn't see all that much, and I didn't recognize much until I, actually saw his dub mod. So once I joined his Discord, we talked more, but I didn't stick around his Discord for too long. I'm the kind of person who doesn't really stick into Discord servers all that much. I just have my account. But I did make my own Discord server 3 times. And I will get into the reason why I say 3 times like that. And before I continue any further, stuff I've covered in my original video about DarkSage861, the one I posted a few days ago, will also be covered here. So there will be a lot of repeated material, but the only reason I'm repeating some material is to connect it all back together. This time, I won't be covering DarkSage's video that he made about me and Moopoke, though I will talk about it. I won't bring it up because I already did an extensive watch through. His 9 minutes of talking about me extended to 51 minutes trying to talk about the problems that I had with the video and how he handled some things. So yeah, I'm not going to cover his video in this video. That took me way too long, and that was like literally the majority of the video. So if you guys want to see that, I actually recommend you watch that, because what has happened in that video essentially leads up to this one. So I recommend you guys watch that one. It's an hour long. It's a long video. I know it's painful, but if you please do so, it'd be easy. But if you already know the situation, you can just watch this video, no problem. But I just wanted to tell you that before I kept going. Now, around the time of meeting DarkSage, I had created my own Discord server. Now, the only purpose for my Discord server was just to be centered around my YouTube channel and also chat with my followers and subscribers. I'd never made a Discord server on my own before. Hell, I think when I made my server, that was my first time I ever made an account for Discord. I never really had a purpose for it before, but once I saw people getting use out of it, how people just, usually have it for YouTube channels or fighting or playing BlazBlue, stuff like that, I figured there would be no issue. So I was like, okay guys, I'm gonna make my own Discord server. I'm gonna put it up. You guys can join. I want my, I'll put the invite link out there. My followers on Twitter can join. My YouTube subscribers can join. We can all chat and talk. Because I never really got a chance to be really open with my audience. Because normally when I make my YouTube videos, I use it on the basis that everyone knows what I'm talking about, and when they come to talk to me, I don't get a chance to have a full-on conversation because this is a YouTube comment section, and they don't get really good to talk to each other. And I kind of wanted the idea of having like a small community where we just talk about stuff. Now, my Discord server wasn't the liveliest. Not any of them, like the 3 I made, were never super lively, right? And I wanted to understand why. Now, I say my audience wasn't that big, and having a lot of people who were talking Discord, I could easily be talking other Discords, which was fair, but I kept it around just in case. So out of nowhere, one day, our Discord server was raided, and I didn't know how to handle the situation because one, I was asleep, and when I woke up, I had realized that not only my Twitter has been blowing up, but my YouTube comment sections have been blowing up, and my Discord has been blown up, and I was told, hey man, your Discord server is being raided, you need to stop this. But it was like hours later, and I didn't even know anything because I was asleep. And I was like, okay, what the hell? So I went into the server and I started scrolling through names, and I just wanted to see who the hell would who would do this. And one of the names I saw while I was scrolling through was DarkSage861, and it kind of weirded me out at first because I was like, well, why is his name a part of it? My first instinct to think was, okay, he there's no way he could have done this, and it's probably somebody who hacked his name or something like that. That's my first thought I wanted to believe. So I scrolled through, and when I tried to back out to go to another part of the server to look at my attackers, or look at my messages at least, to see if anyone sent me anything through there, it expanded my messages somehow. When I went back to the server, it was gone. It was completely wiped out. And I have no idea why it happened. And on top of that, this has happened 2 more times. The moment I get to my server after it's been raided, it just vanishes. And I have legitimately no idea why. It just goes away. So it weirds me out is that they would raid it and then wait till I came back and deleted it. That's my guess, because I have no idea why it would just vanish that way, you know? But regardless, the first thing I thought about, okay, I've never seen any of these people. What's going on here? So as I mentioned before, I didn't want to believe it was DarkSage861 who helped partake in the raids, but then I was sent a list about the people who were part of the raids, and they did send a lot of Adam Sandler related pictures. They spam comment a bunch of Adam Sandler names again and again at everyone in the Discord server. And when I looked at the list, I was like, okay, first of all, these accounts, I don't recognize any of them except DarkSage. Now, the one at the bottom, Relnasmata, is not a particularly interesting one, but the only reason I even mentioned him is because not too long after this, my YouTube channel was blown up with the same comment of his name again and again and again. Relnasmata, over and over and over and over again. And some of these accounts down that they're not even here anymore, as far as I'm aware of. I didn't block at least half of these on my own. The only ones I really blocked was Sage and some of the Adam Sandler ones, and Kerrygold, I think, and the Kichi one. But other than that, I didn't block the majority of these accounts because I just didn't have a chance to. I only saw a couple of their names beforehand. So after this whole I saw Relnasmata, I was like, okay, this dude finally found his way to my channel. What the hell's going on? So I took to YouTube to try to confront DarkSage about it. Now, I never followed the guy on Twitter. I blocked him on my Discord just in case that he was part of this somehow. I wanted to be extra careful. And so I felt like the only public place that he couldn't really do anything to me on was YouTube, because I wanted to confront him. I didn't want to believe that, this was him at first. And so I was like, hey man, what's the deal with my Discord being spammed? Your name was among the people that were here. I had come out comment on his YouTube channel. He mentions that in this video, and I that's perfectly true. And on top of that, he did mention, it's like, hey man, why you just didn't go on my Discord? We can talk about this like men, or something like that. He pretty much just said we could talk this out. And I was like, okay, fine. He's right about that in his original video where he said that we could talk about it. He was the one who suggested the idea. I didn't have an issue with it. So when I went to talk to him about the whole situation, it didn't turn out how I wanted it to exactly. Now, before I continue on with that, I gotta say that I made a second Discord server just before the situation of me confronting DarkSage, and that got raided twice. I even had, the first time I had bots set up, I had mods this time around. I had to make extra precautions just to make sure that things like this wouldn't happen. I was able to successfully stop the first raid, but then the second raid on the second Discord, that's where it kind of just went poof. And I was like, oh, well, shit, now I gotta go confront DarkSage about this. So, the second raid, it was the one that I was up for. No, not the second raid, my bad. The first raid on the second Discord server, thank you. The first raid on the second Discord server, I was actually up for, because it happened really soon after I put the link out there to tell people, okay, guys, I made a second Discord server. Hopefully things won't act up again, right? So when I did that, I had everything ready. I had everything prepped. I actually made mods. Like it was the whole thing, you know. But then it somehow got raided again. I don't know if like the bots were properly implemented. I don't know. I even know how to do the bots myself. I had my mods do that because they were way more experienced in this Discord stuff than I could have ever been. So when it got raided the second time for the second server, then it got deleted, which is weird because I was able to prevent the first one. I saw the messages start to crop up, and then boom, I was able to prevent them all, and then boom, the second server was saved, and then sadly enough, it got hit and taken down for the second raid. So, yeah, I had to confront Sage at that point because now things just gotten way worse. Now, I went into the conversation with Sage on his private messages. I went in kind of pissed, and I won't lie, I was mad because this would technically be 3 raids I had to deal with for 2 different Discord servers, and I was kind of pissed. But I was willing to talk it out because I feel like, okay, man, we can talk this out. We're 2 grown adults. I don't know how old DarkSage is, but we can talk this out. I mean, it's as simple as that. And I really wanted to know, okay, exactly why would you do this? Why would you be part of it? Now, he kept telling me again and again that he wasn't, he partook in it. But the thing is, 1, there was a message told by someone else prior that he was a part of it. And 2, he told me himself that he was a part of this stuff. He told me himself that he was going along with this for the chaos reason. Like he said, I'm going along with this because A, the Discord server's kind of too far gone, which he told a couple other people on my server, and B, I'm going along with this for the chaos. Now, he didn't give me a direct answer as to why he did this. He just did it. But he told me he wasn't the root cause of it. He just told me that he partook in it. And I told him, even if you partook in it, you still were a part of it. And I didn't know why, but like there was a comment prior on his video that hinted that he had something against me. And I wouldn't know exactly why he would have anything against me because I never really communicated with the guy like that. I never really had anything to talk to him about but the dub mod stuff. He commented on my videos. He would say some funny things. I was like, ha ha ha, I hope I'll say some things back. Stuff like that. General just, back and forth, occasional comment stuff. But like, as for a full-on conversation with the guy, I've only had one about 3 times, maybe ever. The first time I talked about was the dub mod. The second time was about the whole Discord raid. And funny enough, I talked to him just yesterday as of the recording of this video. So, yeah. But anyway, I tried to talk to him about it, and then I was told some stuff, and I didn't know about his history until then. Like, he had a history of doing stuff like this, and I was told to some people that he had done stuff like this before, but I was like, no, there's no way Sage could have done this. There's no way the guy he wouldn't out of nowhere do this for no good reason. And then I found out that he would out of nowhere do this for no good reason. He mentions Dognote. Now, the Dognote was a guy he was in my Discord server. He's an occasional commenter on my channel. He follows me on Twitter, stuff like that. And he mentions Dognote. And he's like, he was always a leech that prayed for my downfall. He would always be miserable and just wanted to cause others trouble. And again, I didn't know DarkSage much, but I definitely knew Dognote wasn't like that. Like, I don't think anyone would say. I don't think a normal person would say they were a leech that always prayed for my downfall. And like, it just, I don't know, man. And he's like, I'm sure you didn't know that him and his friends were saying racist remarks about me and banned me from his server afterwards, but he's a saint laughable. And you didn't try to put me in a community tab and lie about your viewers to make me look bad. This would happen. Now, before all this, I made a community tab about Sage. I told people, hey, look, these are the guys who raided my Discord server. These are guys who raided my Discord server and got deleted. And I was pissed. Yeah, it's like these dicks ruined my Discord server and got deleted. And I was pissed. And Sage himself told me, that he was just going along with this for the chaos. He told me that. And the fact that he did gets me. Because not only that he said that, he told me before he wasn't even a part of it, but his name was there, his tag matched the same name, and on top of that, like, after I blocked him, I had his tag name. So when he came back to me, he tried to spin it in a way, it's like, dude, I didn't do this. But he told me he did it. So, like, which one is it? It had to have been him. Because all the events that have been happening all tie back to him. And I legitimately have no idea why he would even pull such a thing in the first place, even to this day. So when I put that community tab up, I was given a lot of messages. People were like, oh man, I couldn't trust this guy and stuff like that. But then, like, not too long after I put the community tab up, I was given a bunch of comments saying, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, by the same ton of people. Not the exact same people, but they were different accounts. And DarkSage is one of them. And it made me think, oh, well, hell, why would he just say this and then come with a bunch of people who said the same thing? This all feels kind of spammy and raidy, you know what I mean? No one out, like, 16 comments wouldn't come out of nowhere just to say that if they weren't involved with Sage, and they said the exact same thing. So that kind of betrayed anything he had to say in regards of not having involvement with this whole raid business. Now, again, this was a YouTube comment, so, like, it could have been anything. It could have been a bunch of his followers catching wind. But I don't think all his followers would do the exact same spam post, a shut up again and again. They would probably be, you know, more human-like and say different things, saying like, hey man, don't do this to my boy Sage, you're lying, or stuff like that, or hey, he wouldn't do this. But no, it was just the same shut up comment 15 to 16 times a row on my community tab. And I think that's what really sparked me going to Twitter about all this. But before I go to the whole Twitter thing, I gotta mention my conversation with Sage himself. So after not getting anywhere with Sage, he would dodge my questions. He wouldn't really exactly answer anything I had to say. I essentially just left. I didn't want anything to do with it anymore because I felt kind of betrayed there, and I felt kind of annoyed having to deal with this stuff. So I was like, you know what, screw it. I don't want to talk to Sage no more, F it. So when I tried to leave, I was pulled into a group chat, right? And then a bunch of them, like, guiding W's, and then, like, I was told by some dude named Mr. Douchebag, it's like, hey, leave if you enjoy child. Yeah, you can see it on the screen. I don't have to say it myself. And then, like, Sage straight up tells me, it's like, you want to make me look like a villain Kaizou with your guys. This is how it feels to be on the other end. And it threw me off because I was told that he had, like, a strange behavior about himself. But to see it now kind of bothered me. I was like, really? You're going to do this? And this is the thing that prompted me to go to Twitter about it. And I legitimately got pissed and went to Twitter about it because I was like, okay, he's going to do this, raid people's discords, act this way. I have to tell people about it. And yeah, I have to really go tell people about it. So bringing the whole thing to light on Twitter, I warned people. I said, just a warning. Y'all in the BlazBlue community, be wary of DarkSage861. He will spam and threaten you with his goons since he's a baby that can't take his ego being challenged. And yeah, there was a lot of salt behind that. There was, I won't lie and say that there wasn't salt behind that, because not only did he raid my he at least had my Discord server raided 3 times and got him deleted twice. He wanted to dodge all my questions. He wouldn't give me a definite answer to why he did it. And on top of that, he wanted to spam my channel with a bunch of spam comments again and again. And I had had enough. And so I brought it to Twitter, and surprisingly enough, a bunch of people came forward to tell me that they had a problem with this guy before. And it really threw me off to know that I already knew he had problems with people, right? But I didn't know how big it was. Apparently, he has been in multiple different Discords, doing, essentially just being annoying, messing with mods, messing with admins, throwing out racial slurs, hating on LGBTQ plus people, and it honestly felt like I was being fed some kind of comically evil villain stuff, like someone who would go into various discourse just to act like a dick and leave. And people like Bojack popped up, Chickzama popped up, and I was like, what? No way. There's no way. But it's the cracks started to form in how his personality, how he acted. It really started to solidify that he was worse than I imagined. Now, I just thought he was just a part of the raids at first, but knowing that he'd been a part of the raids and started, acting up in various other discords, I didn't know. I was only told that he acted up in a couple of discords, and I didn't want to believe that. But then knowing that a bunch of these people come forward and talked about it, that threw me for a loop. It really did throw me for a loop, because like, I was pissed already. But knowing that he has been doing this for a while and I didn't even see it until now, yeah. I never knew DarkSage personally. We would talk to each other back and forth, but I never felt like the guy had anything against me. If anything, I didn't know what he had against the people in the servers, but I was then showed screenshots from people that, you know, have had conversations with him in the past. Now, some of these comments don't look way too heinous, and I never got a chance to get the major bad ones. But from the comments that he leaves in these Discord servers, he does hold off this air of, you know, just aggressiveness and unpleasant behavior. And it kind of bothers me to see this kind of stuff, because I never knew the guy was like this. He seemed pretty normal. He really seemed pretty normal. But then he going and running around, starts talk about, like, when some people play the game kind of right, he gets pissed and gets mad when he starts losing at things and calls people tryhards, calling people corny. Like, he pulls out this anime villain line, goes, I don't know why I even bother with this. You N-words, I'm black, but I'm not going to say the N-word on my own videos, guys. You N-words are so corny. In a competitive game like this, the only option is winning. Losing only shows your weakness and damages your motivation. If you lose many times in the game, such as this, why bother continuing? That's why winning will always be everything to me. And it kind of weirds me out that someone would say this unironically. Like, he actually legitimately says such a thing. Like, it sounds like some kind of it sounds like some kind of anime archetype kind of stuff. It's like, dude, I have to win. I must be. Winning is everything for me. If I would lose, or, you know, whatever. Like, it's stuff like that. You know, I'm not gonna do a whole bit here, but it kind of weirds me out to see his personality kind of shine through this way. And it didn't. It still seems a little bit comically evil, or at least comically aggressive for no reason, right? And I was like, wow, he acted like this before? There's no way that this is real. Like, there was no way. I didn't want to believe that this was real, because it just seemed out of the realm of possibility that he would do such a thing. And even after I told people on Twitter, he would still dislike bomb my videos. He would. I actually made like an XBlaze video. I made like an XBlaze video not too long after of this whole business. I think it was like 2 or 3 days after this. And then my video got dislike bombed and spammed with a bunch of dumb comments were relating to DarkSage or saying shut up again. It was a big hassle, and it kind of destroyed my motivation right there. Like, because at first I was like, oh man, like, there's no way. I know how my YouTube channel works. So there's no way one of my videos got that many dislikes off the offset like that. If the video was really absolutely dog tier garbage, yeah, I can definitely understand the dislikes, but I knew it was from him because it happened way too soon, and some of the comments I recognized from other accounts before. So yeah, it didn't sit well with me, and I had to bring it to Twitter. The fact that people came forward to me in the first place told me about this stuff. It's not a good sign. So the rest of January kind of passed on through. I started to deal with dumb comments and dislike spamming, but other than that, I kind of just let it go. I didn't want to deal with Sage anymore after that, because I kind of didn't want to get involved with him anymore. So out of nowhere, he busts out a video that kind of, at first it made me laugh. I really wanted to revel in the moment, because I really wanted to say, holy shit, he made a video on me. I cannot believe he got that mad. But I already went through this video in my first video. He spends 18 minutes talking about me and Moopoke. And this whole video thing will come up later, because there's more I got to mention about it. But I've already talked about it extensively in my first video. He spends about 9 to 10 minutes talking about me in the video, and I spent 51 minutes going through the whole thing. So yeah, that tells you that I really went through this extensively. In the video, he tries to spin everything in his favor. And this, again, the whole darkness situation wasn't that major, but considering that he's done, you know, he acted up in other Discords, I feel like he should have seen something like this coming. But no, he doesn't mention his behavior in other Discords in this video. He doesn't mention telling me that he was part of the raids. he did mention, like he pretty much tried to turn everything on his side, right? And I watched the video. At first, I was laughing about it. Like, the very first time I ever watched the video, I laughed about it. It was so funny to me in the moment. The whole video, honestly, just stunk of stuff that he tried to put the blame on me. He didn't take responsibility for anything he did in the video, even though he was the root cause of all of this, right? And the other half of the video was involved him and Moopoke, which weirds me out because, like, I never knew he had beef with Moopoke. But the thing about Moopoke is that he shared the video, he shared the comment that I posted on Twitter about him, warning about DarkSage. So he quote retweeted it, and he's like, oh yeah, he tried to start a raid on me before. And I was like, really? I actually talked to Moopoke about it. I was like, he got to you too, no way. And yeah, he's like, yeah, he tried to start a raid on the Ultimax server. And I was like, no way. So when the video about the Moopoke parts, I didn't really watch it because it didn't involve me. I kind of just skipped all that stuff because it didn't really matter on my end, and I went straight to the end of the video. But then, like, not too long ago, I went back to the Moopoke stuff, and some of the stuff that Sage told me in our recent conversation contradicts what he told me about the whole Moopoke stuff, which I will get into in a minute. But the point is, the video got made. It was really mixed. It was mostly disliked than anything. But he still had enough likes to say that he had some supporters on his side. It was more like hey, it was a majority that the video was disliked, because the screenshot I had here was the last thing I was able to screenshot before he locked the ratings. He locked the ratings, but not the comments. I thought he would at least lock the comments to prevent like any comments towards him, but he just left it open. So I don't know. I guess he just disabled ratings because maybe it got too big or whatever. I don't know. Again, the last screenshot I had was this before he locked the ratings. Damn it! I want to keep saying comments, and that was that. 2 months passed. Other than the occasional dislikes bombing, it didn't matter anymore. I was done with Sage. I feel like he had his moment. He wanted to talk about it. I was gonna let it go. Even Moopoke told me to let it go, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it go. I was gonna make a retaliation to it. But it didn't matter. I was like, whatever, I'm done. I don't want to talk about Sage anymore. He had his fun. He made his video. Whatever. I'll just let this go, because I really don't want to escalate this any further, because I don't want to talk to him no more. I don't want him to mess with my channel anymore. Despite that, there was some Twitter accounts that got on my nerves talking about DarkSage. There were some that still freaking dislike bomb my videos, and it made me believe, is Sage really still lurking over my channel, or whoever is part of him? Because I know my channel well. I know if something feels off in regards to dislikes, because my channel, even with my subscriber count, is still relatively small. So like when I see a massive amount of dislikes for no good reason, I know it came from him, and I know that shit like this never happens before. So 2 months passed after Sage made his video about me and Moopoke. I haven't heard anything from the guy. I haven't heard anything from his, people around him. I figured he was done. I legit thought that he was done with me. But then the past week kind of threw that for a loop, because for the past week, I have been getting spammed by various different accounts. Various accounts that have been made recently to try and spam my YouTube account with various messages of the same thing over and over again. Now, I mentioned in my first video that I had Sage here blocked. Now, he wasn't one of the ones that messed with me recently. I don't know if he, from when I looked at his Twitter account, he hasn't used it at all in a while. So I only blocked him out of I just blocked him because just in case he ever decided to come back to Twitter and start to cause trouble. But some of these dudes I do recognize. I recognize this Curbs dude because he was on his YouTube channel, and I even blocked Curbs on Discord. And some of these accounts were just made recently to mess with me. Like, it's ridiculous. One of them even has the damn Adam Sandler picture that they were spamming with. So not only that, it feels kind of funny that they still are using. It's like, if it was like completely different accounts that did remind me of the ones that raided my Discord server, different story. But some of these are just either edits of one of them at least edits of my face. One was, the majority of these were made April 2021, and these were just accounts that just made to mess with me, and they kept spamming the same comment again and again. I mentioned that in my first video, but yeah, there was one going around where this Photoshop image of me saying 13-year-olds do males, and it first of all, Twitter messages don't look like that. You can tell by the date. There's something off about the date. And the fact that someone would put that in the first place, like, I was already told who did it. And it wasn't Sage himself. Someone came forward to tell me that they did it themselves. And considering Sage said it was him and he said it was himself, I kind of believe it. But I will talk about him in a minute, because I have to get into his involvement with all this as a dude named Tool. And I will tell, he's involved with this somehow. And I will tell you his involvement and what he has to tell me about all this. But other than that, yeah, it was a bunch of same messages. They were literally spamming the same 13-year-old thing again. They were spamming my face being edited. It was the same thing again by most of the accounts. And one of the accounts that actually wouldn't even comment at me. I don't remember if I even saved that screenshot, but one of them came towards me. And they were talking about, oh, well, I lost my boyfriend. And like, it was like that. I looked at their account. They're like 14 years old or some shit. I didn't pay attention until after they freaking messaged me. I was like, whatever. Like, I like to accept all my messages. I like to just talk to people. So, like, I wasn't really thinking about it. But then I was like, wait a minute, something don't seem right here, until I saw their shit. And like, oh, guys, one of DarkSage's shit. And then they gave me that, before I even back out, they gave me that message about the whole 13-year-old thing. And I was like, yep, that's one of the dudes involved with DarkSage. You're just doing this shit to screw me. I'm gone. So the past week has just been nothing but spam shit, again and again. And it got really annoying. I blocked all the accounts I could. I locked my account. I just did not want to deal with it anymore, because it just got really out of control. And it didn't help matters that I blocked and locked my account, because I just wanted this to stop, you know? I really wanted this to stop, because it was, first of all, it was annoying. And second of all, it was just making me so nervous, because I didn't want, you know, this kind of shit to spread around. And so all I did was delete my comments, delete like just any ties to all this, because I didn't want to deal with this, because I didn't want people spreading this shit around and getting me in trouble for no good reason. And to make matters even worse, a commenter on my YouTube channel named Koro, he sent me a message via Discord and informed me that apparently my Discord account has been sending something like soliciting nudes from a minor or something like that, or I don't know, I didn't know what the hell it was, but it was censored, and I saw what looked like to be an arm, so I can only kind of assume it was like those kind of, you know what I mean, those dick pics kind of shit. That's the only reason that's the only reason, that first thing that came to my head at first. And I was like, first of all, my head already was spiraling after I saw this. And I was like, no. There's no freaking way this is happening right now. And so I was like, dude, that's not me, man. There's no way this is me. And he didn't want to hear me out. As a matter of fact, when some of my friends found out, they just outright blocked me and left me. There was also a account named Rachel's Husband that this was posted in their Discord, the Rachel Cord, and they blocked me outright. Like, it was spread by someone named Hikari. And it's like, okay, watch out for this guy, Kaizou. I'm going to report his channel, report his Twitter. Apparently, he's been sending grooming minors and shit like that. And I literally did not know what the hell was going on. I was like, what the hell's happening? What was going on? But then I thought about all the accounts that kind of try to spread around some messed up bullshit. And then it just kind of clicked for me. Like, I already suspected it was that in the first place. But the fact that things have got that far, went that far down the tubes, really scared me. Like, I legit nearly had a heart attack when I saw that, because I was like, are you kidding me? And then I saw it get spread on Twitter. It was freaking commented to me by this dude named It's Tool, and I recognize him because he was one of the people who were with DarkSage, and he told me about it. I didn't know how to handle it. I was like, okay, shit, I'm deleting my original account. I'm blocking this dude. Get away from me. He even did he did like 2 different accounts, because I already had him blocked on his main account, because I think he did something in the past to me before. I think it still is DarkSage related, cannot remember, but I had him blocked before, so he just used a different account to try to, you know, do this whole thing and spread it around on the Discord, the Rachel Court. And I was like, no freaking way, dude. I had to do something about this, because I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was literally freaking out, and I didn't know how to handle this sort of thing. It's legit scared me. I had never actually been through a situation like this before, where someone would try to go this far in order to make you seem like a bad guy. So seeing something like this really scared the absolute hell out of me. Now, an old mod and friend of mine, Felicity, she came out to talk about the situation on the DarkSage stuff, because she doesn't really come out to speak to these type of things, and she even had to lock her account for the time being in order to prevent anyone that attacked my account from attacking theirs. I even recommended her do so because I really didn't want her involved with this, but she at least came to me and talked about it. She said, "There's a reason I'm talking about this certain interaction with DarkSage. My friend Kaizouwar is being accused of sending CP and BlazBlue servers and grooming Myers because of someone who is impersonating him on Discord. I think it's worth mentioning that I've really only interacted with DarkSage once. This was during the making of Kaizou's second server. The first one was raided and deleted. Once Kaizou felt like things were in order again, he went offline. Unfortunately, more people came to raid his server again. They were the same people from the first raid. I saw DarkSage enter the voice chat, and I thought that he was concerned about the raid happening again. During the previous raid, people hopped into voice chat to try and see what was going on and trying to get the raids to stop. So I was joined voice chat with DarkSage. It was just in that moment that he and I said, okay, don't worry, I contacted Kaizou about this raid too, and hopefully he'll get on it. And what I believe was a very careless voice, he also sounded like he was amused for some reason, he said, "You really think that's gonna help?" I was a little shocked to hear that. I never really interacted with DarkSage until that point. I left the voice chat in a little bit of fear and rising anxiety. I left the server until the raid was over. I have reason to believe that DarkSage was the one who initiated the raid, or at least was part of it. People who have come out saying that he was a part of our BlazBlue and Persona 4 Arena Ultimax servers where he was causing trouble for people and other members. So this isn't the first time he's done anything like this. He's been faking evidence, making it look like Kaizou is in fact the predator when he's not. The reason I'm speaking about my experience with DarkSage is to help Kaizou get out of this disgusting situation. He even wanted me when I asked him when I should come out with this. It's very serious to accuse someone who isn't even a predator of being a predator. I'm not really sure how to end this, but if you had negative experiences with DarkSage861, please inform Kaizou. And I really appreciate Felicity coming out with this. I really appreciate her telling me about this, because I didn't want to drag her into this. She's a super sweet woman, and I really did not want to drag her into this. But she was a mod, and she had more of the know-how than I did during the raids, because she was there. And I really did not want to pull her into this, because I didn't want this to make anybody else's problem. But I kind of had to when I had to ask around for information. Did anybody have anything about the raids, anything like that? If anybody had anything to tell me, if you knew anything about DarkSage, I didn't want to drag people into my situation like this. But because when Sage made it bigger than it was and do these false allegations and stuff like that, I had to ask. And thank you for listening. Really, thank you so much for coming forward and sharing your side of things and your interaction with DarkSage. So I had to take action in some form to try to clear my name before it got spread around. So I made a video about DarkSage himself. I made the video and I legit tried to go through all his points that he made in his video about me. I gathered all the evidence and shit I had from the past week. I gathered everything I could, but when I made the video, it didn't have enough context to try to drive the point home. I mean, yeah, it was majority of what happened the past week, but it wasn't enough. The majority of the video I've made was just mostly the DarkSage business. And I didn't talk about the whole spreading around the info and everything, because there was more to it in the past couple of days so far. And I kind of wish I should have waited to make this video, but things would have gotten worse if I just didn't wait. So this video is kind of like a secondary to that, like a part 2 worth to say. Or just not an alternate take, but like a side take. Like if you've seen the first video, this would be like a complimentary take to it. And when I made my video, I told people, like, guys, you really have to watch out this guy. He's spreading around false info. I've already went through all these points in the video he made about me and Moopoke. Like, essentially, I would be repeating the same things I've said about in the original video that I did in this video, which I've already done. And I warned people. Some people came to my defense. But here's the thing. Some of the comments, right? Some of the comments blew up. And some of these messages came out of flat nowhere. And it's like, hey, big ups to DarkSage861. He caught you in 4K. Creep, go ahead, delete this. And it's like, don't ever disrespect my boy Sage like this ever again, pedo. Keep deleting comments too. You don't want your ego to get hurt this much now, don't you? The funny thing about this comment in particular is that I never deleted comments at all. These comments I left on here because I was still trying to figure out shit on the side. I wasn't really paying attention to these comments. So when I went to go like see what this dude's comment was about, he deleted it and then re-uploaded it and says, keep deleting comments. We know and damn well you like kids. Then deleted it again. Then re-uploaded another. Like he kept trying to say keep deleting comments. Then deletes them himself. Then then does another comment and then try to. Funny enough, I don't think he was expecting me to screenshot every comment that he made. So, like, there you go. There's the proof right there. More comments. Oh, stop talking to Myers. You know, shit like that. It was just a bunch of more comments to try to be super mean and shit like that. Now, there's this Tool the Fool. And now, at first, I didn't believe it was that It's Tool guy until I saw that he has a kind of a Mega Man picture. He has a current Mega Man profile now. And the only person I knew named Tool was him. So I figured he was already part of it. And obviously, I saw his name on Sage's YouTube channel. And course, oh man, yeah, it was already an issue. These comments, I figured, okay, these are just part of the DarkSage's group again. They're just doing this to be pieces of shit. My video got dislike bombed a lot, but then some of the dislikes went away. I think because some of those channels got like deactivated or deleted because of the way they respond to the channel. That was my only guess, because you know you can get taken off YouTube for that kind of shit like that. So my guess is like the video had like 17 dislikes at first, but then now it has like 13 as of now. So I think those are the, like legit actual YouTube, legit actual YouTube channels that, or you know, the channels that didn't really get taken down yet. So yeah, things just didn't get any better from there, and I took to Twitter to talk about it. So then I was sent this tweet by this dude named Physique God. Apparently it was more messages about me, quote unquote, being a pedo in Discord. And when I looked at him, I was like, okay, let me read this. Let me see this stuff. Immediately off the bat, something was wrong. The image used for the Discord is too zoomed in. Now this is an image I got from my friend for my birthday. It was an evil version of one of my OCs. So like, knowing that this image was zoomed in definitely was wrong, because like, okay, really? And yeah, that was already off the bat. And I definitely do not talk like this. Like, I was wondering, okay, who the hell is doing this? Who's orchestrating this sort of thing? Like, who's planning this? It didn't really help matters. This person named Hikari, Girl of Culture, just kept spreading around the Rachel Court about this stuff like this. And I legit, it seemed off. I was like, man, they've really adamant about this. So I looked, I was given information that they were friends with Sage. And it all kind of tied back together. I was like, yeah, now I see it. Like, of course, like at first I didn't want to believe it was tied to Sage, because I was like, okay, there's no way he would go this far, right? He was being petty and being a complete ass, but there was no way it was him. Like it couldn't have been, you know? There was legit no way. But then I saw it and it's like, oh yeah, I'm a friend of his. I know people don't like him currently because of his lie, because the lies Kaizouwar made against him, but he's not that bad of a guy. And then it all clicked into place. I was like, it's still him? He's still doing this? There is no way he's still doing this. And it clicked into place, and I didn't want this to happen, because I didn't know how big the Rachel Court was, but knowing that this got spread in the various other Discords as well, it wasn't a good image on my part. Even if I just told people I didn't have anything to do with this, there was a lot of things working against me, even if I was able to try to change things. And I kept asking, where's the Discord tag account? Where's the tag of this Discord? And the dude Physique God kept sending me mine. He took a screenshot of mine, photoshopped it, and brought it to me again and again. And I was like, that's not me. Look at the jagged edges on this image. That's not me. And, you know, some people listened, some people didn't. I tried to get in contact with Rachel's husband at first. I tried to talk to him about it, because it was his Discord, so he could have easily told anyone, yeah, dude, watch out for this creep, watch out for this weirdo, yada, yada. And I didn't want this to spread to a bunch of people. I didn't know how big his Discord was, but if it was a good size, that means a ton of people would have known that they would have believed that I was some kind of creep. And I didn't want that to happen. For the love of God, I didn't want that to happen. That kind of stink never goes away. Once you've been charged with allegations like that, it never goes away. It never wipes out. And it sucks so bad, because some people do get blamed for shit like this. And some people just don't forget it. Some people just blame a person for something this heinous, and it never goes away. it will stick with that person for like the rest of their lives, because there still is a subset of people that believe this sort of thing about these people. So I wanted to talk to Rachel's husband about it to clear my name, but he wouldn't contact with me. But then I get an unlikely help, and that unlikely help is It's Tool himself. Now, I mentioned It's Tool before. He was one of the dudes who actually raided my Discord the 3rd time. And on top of that, he was one of the dudes who worked closely with DarkSage to try to spread this false information around. But then he came to me. He actually came to me apologizing. Now, I didn't trust him at first. I did not want to trust this guy at all. I even waited a little bit just to respond back to him. He told me, "Hey Kaizou, it's me, Tool. For starters, I want to say I'm not here to troll or cause trouble, but rather apologize for our actions. What we did was really immature, and I apologize for that. Also, if you're wondering where that 13-year-old to MILF thing came from, it was created by me. It was supposed to be just a joke within our group, but I didn't intend to be as widespread as it did. And I only joined in on that trend because everyone else was doing it, and I am completely at fault for it, and I apologize for that. If you think I'm doing this apology only because that video made, well, then you're partially right. As well, I did eventually start feeling bad because I started noticing how much stress it was causing you, and I deeply apologize for that. If you don't trust me and want to block me, that's perfectly fine with me. I understand. To show I am being genuine, I will agree to cut contact with you, please, and never participate in any raids or trolling ever again. If you want to use this apology against me, then you have my permission without censoring my profile or whatever. If you want to talk this out how you intended, then I'll keep this account up for the time being." Now, I had blocked him originally on his main account because of all the shit he pulled before on me. And when I saw this account, I was thinking, okay, there is no way this is him. This is another DarkSage account used to go against me. I'm not falling for it. It's too easy. It was too easy of a bait to take forward. But then I think 2 more accounts came forward on his behalf. One of the accounts that came forward on behalf was the Abby person that was involved with that whole false screenshot. She or he, I don't know, but I want to say she. I apologize if I got your gender wrong, Abby. They came forward to tell me, "Hey, Kaizou, I want to come out and say I'm really sorry. I don't want to do it and all, but I tried to help out my friends with it, and I didn't think it'd go this far. I just want to let you know I'm throwing in my towel. I don't want any more trouble. I just want to leave it behind us all." And again, I didn't want to believe that, but I saw this Abby person came forward, and I in the back of my head, I'm thinking maybe they're part of it. Maybe they're just elaborating this scheme to get me. They're doing all this again to mess with me. At that point in time, I was so stressed out and so paranoid. Everyone seemed like an enemy to me. Like I was so scared because I felt like if I replied to even one word, they would take it, spin it around, and say something wrong on like just against me. And I was actually legitimately paranoid. I will admit that. I was so stressed out there, my chest started to hurt. I jumped at every notification, massive headache. I was so scared because I was like, man, please no more of this stuff. I just want this to stop, man. Leave me alone. Like, I was nearly driven to tears. And yeah, sadly enough, I will admit that I was nearly driven to tears because there was I never had a situation like this happen before. I was so legitimately scared about this. And when these 2 accounts came forward, I was like, oh, dude, what should I do? What should I do? I kept going over in the back of my head, what should I do? I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm throwing the risk in. And replying back. But then, surprisingly enough, Tool actually replied back. He actually did seem like he was sorry. Again, I didn't believe him. At first, I was only talking to him to see if he had any info to tell me about DarkSage. That's the only reason I even wanted to reply to him at first, because I didn't want to believe that he was even a part of it. I felt like everything he was going to tell me was a lie. I felt like everything he was going to tell me was just going to lead me closer and closer to DarkSage, that he was just manipulating me or, what have you to try to, pull me in closer so these guys can just take my replies and stuff like that, have a laugh about it later and let it go. And I just didn't want to believe the guy. I really didn't, man, because this whole thing, knowing how DarkSage had a bunch of quote-unquote collaborators on this shit, yeah, anyone replying to me, especially one of the dudes who was close enough to him to do it, yeah, that's definitely an issue. But funny thing about it, no, he actually legitimately did seem sorry about his actions. He actually did want to apologize. Abby wanted to apologize. I even went as far as to have him join my Discord so we can talk about it, even though I felt like that was a boneheaded mistake on my part. I felt like if things were getting shitty right now, what worse could they be other than this shit? Because I feel like no one would, believe me anyway. Even if I told them, hey, like straight up and have all the stuff ready, there would still be a subset of people that didn't believe me. I was like, you know what, F it. I'm just going to talk to this Tool guy. I'm going to try to see if I can weasel any information out of him and see if he has anything to say. But no, he legitimately did have, remorse for his actions, and it threw me off, really. So Tool told me everything. He told me the big situation about DarkSage and why he had hatred for me in the first place. I wanted an answer about that for the longest time. And then when I got it, it didn't sit right with me. All he told me was DarkSage really, really wanted me out the internet. He did not like me. And at first I was like, that's silly, right? But then I noticed all the shit he's been pulling. I remember seeing a comment on his Discord, or I don't know if it was his Discord or his messages or whatever, but it did say that there was some hint that he had beef with me of some sort, even though I didn't know anything about this prior to all this stuff. And I was confused out of my mind. I was like, why does he hate me so much? I legit don't know what he has against me. He just legitimately does not like me. That's the only thing. And considering he never gave me a straight answer about raiding my Discord or participating in the raids, it comes off odd that he would just fixate himself on me, despite me never having an issue with him before. I thought we were cool before the whole Discord raid stuff. I thought we were cool with each other. He would comment on my videos. I would talk about his dub mod. There was nothing wrong. Anyway, back to It's Tool. He actually went off and talked to Rachel's husband. He talked to a bunch of people to try to help clear my name. And in the back of my head, I was thinking, he's not doing that. He's not going to clear my name. He's just going to take all these screenshots that have been passing around just to escalate things. He's going to do this, send a bunch of screenshots to people, fake more shit, and it get me even worse trouble than I could ever imagine. But no, he actually went off and talked to people to try to help clear my name. And I never expected that, because I was like thinking, yeah, he's just gonna make this worse, and then I have to be prepared for the bullshit that comes after the fact. But no, he actually legit teamed up with me and talked to people on my behalf, because they wouldn't want to talk to me. So he talked to them for me. Like some people like Rachel's husband, because he blocked me outright. And I couldn't get a hold of him at all. I was going to use an alternate account to try to talk to him, but there was no way he was going to believe that. So Tool talked to him for me. I was like, oh, I can't believe it. He actually legitimately talked to him. And I still didn't want to trust Tool. I really didn't. I told him, like, man, look, if you got any info on DarkSage, tell me. If you really feel remorse for your actions, please tell me everything about Sage so we can put this to rest. Because if he's still plotting stuff behind the scenes to try to, make people look bad, then I have to know. Because if I don't know, he's just going to keep doing this again. And then I won't have anything against him to prevent people from getting some suffering about stuff like this. Because it falls like a cycle. He'll just do this, go away, do this, go away, do this, go away. So, like, I didn't want this to continue any further than it already did. And so he helped me. He actually legitimately helped me. Him and Abby helped me out. Mostly Tool, but Abby also helped out as well, because apparently she was a part of it too. Because, like, at first I thought the whole thing was completely Photoshop, but, like, I think they just used that against her to try to get her, like, I don't know. Again, it's still kind of ambiguous about her involvement in the situation, but she told me that she was part of it as well, or he. Again, I am sorry, Abby, for getting your account wrong, because I didn't directly look at their account yet. I apologize. So for now, I apologize. But for yeah, I didn't want to believe anything they had to say to me until, like, they actually helped me on my behalf. And I was like, I still didn't believe him at first. I still didn't trust them, because there was still more to be done. This wasn't over yet. Even if they apologized and after all this stuff, it still wasn't over yet. So I told Tool to give me everything he was able to in regards to DarkSage. One screenshot came to me in a funny way, where he told me that he was going to Photoshop my face, or Photoshop a picture. And he's like, I'm going to Photoshop to be the real Kaizouwar. Just go to attack Kaizou DM and go to his profile. And there make a screenshot, then I'll Photoshop it. And I knew it.
I knew it was Photoshop. There was like one that was sent to me that had a bunch of jagged edges, and it just looked unnatural. And I was like, okay, that's him. Funny enough, it tried to be my original account, the one that what mine actually looks like. So like it was used to try to make it more authentic, but it turned out it was just a fake Photoshop. And I was like, okay. I knew it was Photoshop for the way it looked, but of course people take one look at it and it's like, dude, that's you, man. No, it wasn't gonna be like that. So yeah, it honestly sucks, man. And I saw this person Slink and they helped me out. It's like, no worries, it's a good image, but we need some in the shot that indicates it's the same Kaizou in your DMs. Now, Slink was also one of the people who helped out. I didn't know he was even involved until recently, so yeah, more distrust came from me. I mean, to be honest, I can't really blame myself for not trusting these people, because some of them were the people who used this stuff against me in the first place. So yeah, and even I can even somewhat see his tool remorse a bit. He's like, this won't end well. Yeah, it didn't help matters at all, and it made things worse than it already was. But again, the sad thing about all this is all ties to Sage for no good reason. Like again, he just does not like me, and I just don't know why. So back to the image in question. When the image, like the real image was revealed, like the real one was revealed about what it was, about the whole like, oh, isn't she 16? Like, and the fake Kaizou account, like, so what if she was? It turned out that the actual image was just that hand. The fact that it was just a wiped out version, like the wiped out picture image of that, just to make it look like it was something else more heinous. Yeah, and on top of that, you can still see discrepancies within this image. Now, if you can tell the way it looks, you can tell that from this image about with my face on, with my image on it, something's off about this. There was this line on here. Now, when I had the image of the evil Kaizou, that's what it's called, evil Kaizou, I had a blank image. It was a transparent image, and I put it on my icon to make it my icon. But they took the one with my name on it, because I had two different versions. One with a name on it. Actually, no, three different versions. One with a white background, one with a transparent background, and one with my name on it. This one has my name on it, and it looks like a line from here. I'm sorry, you guys could barely see that, but it's still wrong. They tried to get it right, and it's still wrong. So, like, not only they had two opportunities to try to fake my icon, they got it wrong both times. And in hindsight, I want to laugh about it, but on the other hand, like I didn't have time to laugh about it. It was already like I was feeling so much relief, because not only that Rachel's husband's unblocked me, he even followed me back on Twitter, and we even talked it out. And he even posted these images to try to help me out. Now, even before that, there was a Google Doc made by Grimflash, and I will get to that in a minute. But Rachel's husband, he found out. I don't know if he told anyone in his Discord that I was proven innocent, but the fact that the image that was blurred out was just that hand gesture, it made me angry, but also laugh at the same time. It was like that angry laughter. I was like, so that's what it was. And I did feel some relief that it wasn't actual child stuff. So, because if Sage had like a hold of that somehow, that would make things significantly worse on his end. So thank God it was just nothing more than that.
Now, moderator and tournament organizer Grimflash, he decided to come to me to talk about this whole deal, and after a while he decided to collaborate with a couple other people in order to create a Google Doc in order to prove my defense. And he did day by day. He went to go different Discords, he'd inform people about the situation, and he was able to collaborate with some people, and they put together this Google Doc that I will link in my description, and I will link it in my comments in case anyone misses it. Now, for me personally, I'm not going to go through the entire Google Doc, because that's going to make this video way longer than it is. And plus, I've covered much of what everything is, but since Grimflash has did a lot of work on this, and he really covered a side that I wasn't able to get a hold of. Like, the video I'm making right now is on my side of things, right? Everything that's happened to me physically of sorts. And
Grimflash did more of the inner workings. He went to different discords, talked to a bunch of different people, and tried to gather some information about this stuff and relayed it all back to me. So I really recommend you read the Google Doc after you're done with this video. Or you could just read it now and then come back to the video. But I recommend you just at least read it, because it is an important part of this, and it does tell the side of the things that he went through in order to gain all this information. So I highly value that you read it, and I really thank all the people who helped me out with Grimflash, DL Simon, and Slink. I really appreciate those three for helping me out trying to get this Google Doc together. Thank you guys so much. Just as of last night of recording this video, DarkSage has come into contact with me. Well, technically, I came into contact with him. See, before all this, I was told that DarkSage was threatening to commit suicide, and I was told about that on my community, my channel, about Hikari Girl 168. Which, seeing that the 168 is close enough to DarkSage's 861, I kind of didn't feel right. I didn't believe it at first, right? I didn't believe it at first. I was thinking, okay, now he's just doing this stuff to try to gain some sympathy, right? Again, I take the threat of suicide really seriously, but I hear DarkSage is doing it. It makes me skeptical. So I was thinking this Hikari person, after all the trouble they caused me too, they were just doing this to try to mess with me and get at my head. But no. Apparently, Tool told me that Sage made a video about him trying to run into some traffic, or he was near traffic or something like that. And then he tried to, he was near some traffic, and then he deleted the video. The video doesn't exist anymore. I don't know if if he deleted afterwards. They say Tool told me he deleted an hour after the fact. So, the link is gone. But that was about a day or so prior to me meeting DarkSage again. I was like, okay, what the hell is he doing? What's going on here? What's he trying to do? It happens a lot. There are some people who have done heinous things, but when they get backed into a corner, they try to, do anything they can to try to gain some sympathy on their end. They try to say, "Oh, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to drown," or they're going to do something heinous to themselves to try to gain some sympathy on their end, so people wouldn't outright hate them all that much. And knowing what DarkSage has been doing this entire time, manipulating other people, trying to manipulate the narrative, it easily seemed like he was going to do it again to try to gain some sympathy on his end. So, the thing is, Tool came to me on my Discord. He told me, dude, you need to talk to DarkSage right now. He's acting up. He's going to try to kill himself. And I was like, okay, what? Why? What's happening now? So I was like, I really didn't want to communicate with DarkSage, but I was already ready about to make my video. This was the last stand. I haven't talked to the guy in months. I haven't talked to the guy in forever. This was kind of like the finale of all this. If I were to communicate with DarkSage again, will he admit that he raided my Discord server? Will he admit that he did all these things wrong? And so I bit the bullet. What the funny thing about it is, prior to all this, he tried to spread this stuff around. Like I mentioned earlier, he tried to spread around me being, quote-unquote, a pedophile. And he even sent it to the Jin Manga Shishigami on Twitter, through his Discord. And he's like, oh, here's more creepy DMs of him trying to find more minors in the process. He tried to make a video on me, but just know he's attempting at denial, since he clearly kept blocking people about this shit and running away, not to mention privating his Twitter. Yeah, I was trying to get away from all this, because this was, I didn't want it to spread further, because I felt like if it did, he would try to send this to other people, and he did. He did send it to other people. But anyway, back to the whole DarkSage trying to off himself situation. He was telling me, Tool told me to talk to him. He's like, dude, you really gotta talk to DarkSage right now. I was like, why should I? Honestly, why should I talk to him? After all the shit he put me through, what else do I have to say to him? And I was like, you know what? Fine. Fine. If he wants to talk, I can talk. I told myself, and I told this in my previous video, I would rather talk shit out than go back and forth having a petty argument with a person that isn't worth it. So I talked to him. I actually talked to Sage. And I really wanted to get to the bottom of this. I even asked him, dude, what's the deal? Why did you do all this? What did you want from me? Will you admit that you raided my Discord? He told me, he's like, the only thing I just ask you now is to please not make another video on me. The shun in the community was already bad, but you got the news already that it already got worse. I'm not doing this for any publicity, but just can you please delete any tweets or YouTube videos you made regarding me? I just asked for us to both move on. That is all. And I legit did not, I knew he was going to tell me this. I knew it in the back of my head. He was going to tell me, bro, just get rid of all the tweets and videos you made about me because I'm kind of backed into a corner right now. I freaking knew he was going to tell me this. I freaking knew it. I freaking knew it. And I legit told him, dude, after all the stuff you put me through, why should I? Why should I listen to you when you're the root cause of all this and delete my stuff, huh? Dislike bombings, fake pedal allegations, Discord raids, that video about me and Moopoke and the account spamming, all this ties back to you and I've had enough of this. I tried to move on months ago, but you kept going. And yes, that is true. I tried to move on forever ago. I didn't want to deal with this, but he just kept going. Oh, I want to Photoshop your face on this. Oh, I want to spread this to other people. Oh, I just want to freaking treat you like a pedophile. Really? To me and telling me that, yeah, dude, I just want us to move on. Just make peace, man. Really? So our conversation continued. We talked a little bit more after that. And he's like, as far as I'm concerned, the raids had absolutely nothing to do with me, as the other Discord IDs you put in the video also raided mine. And no, dude, he was part of it. The reason I even blocked his account because it had the same tag number and the same thing as his main account. He was the one who did it. Like, he keeps trying to deny. I'm talking to him and giving him a chance to admit you did wrong and raid the Discord raids, and we're a part of it, and he still would not admit it. Anyway, and so again, I did not dislike bomb at all. This isn't about this pay dispute. So you see, like, from what he's saying, he's trying to lead away from talking about this stuff. He's like, this is about making peace. If you didn't know, after the video you made came out, I almost tried to end myself. The overwhelming hate and defamation was becoming much larger. That's why I came here to say, please delete any tweets or videos regarding me. He was really trying to lead away from what I had to say and tried to go back onto him. It's like, dude, I tried to kill myself. Can you just delete the tweets and videos regarding me? And I straight up told him, I am not going to, well, I said, I'm not doing, misspelled. I am not going to delete any of the videos or tweets, not after all this has been happening. This is proof that you messed up and will state as a consequences of your actions. You have a chance to turn things around. Leave people alone, calm down, and leave me alone. Because you have gone way too far with all the stuff you've been pulling as of late. And if I do delete them all, people know. They know you did all these things and have been doing this. Oh, I should have said for a while, but have been doing this. So delete my tweets and videos won't do much. Straight up. There was no way that I was going to do that. Because he just wanted me to wipe the slate clean. He wanted to just get any heat off him despite him doing this in the first place and him deserving everything that came to him. You know, again, I take the topic of suicide very seriously, but knowing Sage, he wasn't going to do anything. I had a feeling like too many people have done this, and he could easily be one of those people. But all the stuff he's been doing nothing but trying to manipulate the narrative and manipulate other people to do his stuff. So he can easily just feed me bullshit about trying to say, dude, I'm trying to kill myself. And like, it was not right, man. Going on further in the conversation, he tells me, dude, I'm not asking for anything, nor am I making excuses, but it was starting to become overwhelming to the point where I wanted to commit suicide. If you want an apology, then I could truly say I am sorry, but please don't continue any of this. Like, again, this does happen. Some people just get backed into a corner and then they can't get out of it and they want to talk to the person. Like, he's not trying to outright say sorry for all the stuff he's done because he still won't admit about the raid stuff. He still wouldn't admit it. He was a part of it. I saw his name. I knew his tag number. He was directly part of it and he still wouldn't admit it. And after all the stuff he said, he still wouldn't admit anything. I told him, dude, I don't believe you, man. You had a chance months ago to say, hey, man, I am sorry for partaking in the Discord raids, and I am sorry for causing you trouble, Kaizou. But no, you want to make that video on me. You want to fake pedo allegations, which is utterly unforgivable. Completely unforgivable. You cannot do that, dude. It doesn't matter what the circumstances is. You do not fake pedophile allegations like that. You do not. There is no way that's right in any shape or form to do something like that. And I told like, now you want to come to me, and now you're back in the corner to tell me this. He says again, like, dude, just delete the stuff, delete my video, delete the videos, delete the tweets. I wasn't going to do that. He was not truly sorry. Because watch, if I ever deleted my video, if I deleted my tweets, he was just going to go back on his bullshit again. Guaranteed he was going to do this again. Guaranteed. And he's probably doing it now, for all I know. Because he could be easily doing anything now, but he lost a good amount of supporters, at least I think so, other than the people who are willing to follow his bullshit. So, I don't know. I don't know who else is still on his side after this, but I can only guess that there's also that Hikari person is. And it just... Anyway, we still continue on with our conversation. As far as I'm concerned, once again, I'll say that I had no relation to any of the raids, but as I said before, this isn't about any of that. This is about making peace with one another. Again, how can I make peace with you? You wanted to keep going. I just wanted to, I figured you were going to put this whole thing to bed, you know? Hey man, it's over. You did your shit, you made your video on me. I figured that was the end of it. But no, you wanted to screenshot all my stuff. You wanted to Photoshop the shit together to try to make me look like a pedophile. How can I make peace with someone who does something that heinous? You know what I mean? And like, he's not even trying to admit what he did wrong. He was a part of the Discord race for the first time. All I wanted him to do, well, you know, other than go away, all I wanted him to do was admit that he was a part of it. And even after all that, even knowing that his tag was one of the people who did it, he still wouldn't admit that he was with the people that raided my Discord. He would not admit it. He wouldn't even try to admit it every step of the way. And I said, it really is about all this. He said, oh, this isn't about this in regards to the raids. But I said, it really is about this because it all stems from you. It doesn't matter how many ways you try to change up the narrative. The root cause of this whole deal is you. Why should I make peace with a person that tried to manipulate others and Photoshop fake pictures used to make me look like a sick creep? Tell me. What kind of peace would I have with you as you've been making my life a living hell the past week? Actually, just not even a whole week, just the past 3 months. Mostly this week, but the past 3, the whole time I've known him, nothing has gone right. So I want to know why should I make peace with you? I made peace with Tools because he was willing to actually, say sorry and legitimately mean it and actually, give me the info on you. And knowing that you act the way you act up in various discourse, you try to Photoshop stuff, you try to get me in trouble. All right, I am truly sorry for that, but we both can't keep this up much longer. Clearly, it was petty from both of our parts. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. You wanted to keep going. What pettiness was there on my end? Yeah, I was pissed and sent all that stuff on my community tab and Twitter. That wasn't petty. That was me trying to warn people for what you did. What have I done wrong? He's trying to shift the blame onto me. Even though after all the shit I went through, what have I done to you? You one who went to the trouble of making a video on me in the first place. Anyway, and I could be a dead man walking for all I know. So please just accept my apology, delete any video and tweets, and let's just move on. And again, I tried to move on forever ago. I tried. I didn't want anything to do with the guy anymore. But no, he just wanted to keep going and keep going and keep going. Just for the hell of it. Just because he hated me that much. And I was like, how do I know you're really sorry? For all I know, you could easily be telling me you are just to do something later. And as I said before, the tweets and videos will stay up because of what you've done, because this isn't right and people have to know. I was never intending to delete my tweets and videos because he was never sorry about what he did. He was never sorry, and he kept going. He just please accept my apology. You didn't even directly told me you were sorry. You didn't mean that you were sorry. You just tell me, accept my apology, man. He wouldn't admit that he was part of the raids. He wouldn't give me a good definitive apology. He didn't show any remorse for his action like Tools did or Abby did. He didn't try to do any of that. He just said, dude, accept my apology and just get rid of your stuff so I won't look bad anymore. Anyway, he says, but who will know really? People who just want to see beef or downfalls of others. What will it take you to know that I am sorry? Do I have to record myself? I want him to tell me straight up you were sorry and to have remorse for your actions, man. If you're really sorry, do you have a problem telling me everything? The fake foes, the raids, the spamming, and I told him, tell me all the events that led up to this. Tell me everything you did up to this point to show you're really sorry. And I was like, it shouldn't be an issue if you're truly here to apologize for your actions, because only telling me sorry doesn't cut it. You can tell me sorry as many times as you want, but it doesn't mean sorry. You can say sorry. You can push someone down a flight of stairs and say sorry. Does that make you sorry? No, you only said sorry. You didn't try to rush down there and try to comfort him. You didn't try to say, damn, man, I don't know why I did that in the first place. That was really cruel of me or whatnot. No, you just say sorry and just act as if that's going to be okay. No. If you're really sorry, tell me everything. Tell me everything that led up to this, and I'll see after that. That was the reason about the whole video about me and Moopoke, and I even told him, look, you told me you want to participate, you want to go along with the chaos when partaking in the raids. What's up with that? He says, that video was made to defend myself towards the assumptions during when the raid thing happened, and I never recall that message at all. Yeah, he told me that he wanted to participate, he wanted to go along with the chaos. He legit told me that. Straight up. He told me that personally. So, like, he's still trying to deny. And I was like, so you deny any connection to my Discord raids? Any connection at all? He's like, yes, I had no part in any of them. Let me ask you this again. Why was your name among those who raided the first time? Your name was one of the ones I saw before my account got taken down for good. That I do not know. I assume someone had a grudge against me and wanted to pick the blame to someone. Well, I had you blocked prior to sending you this request. Blocked you back during the whole raid business. And this is the very same account because I remember the tag and all. Your account is the exact same one from back. I blocked his account, and when I checked the tag number, it was the same one that was on the list of people that freaking got banned from my Discord server. The exact same one. And you want to know what he told me in regards to this? Of this. And like, I was getting fed up with him already. He still would not admit that he partook in the raids of the Discord. Even when his own video betrays that ideal. When someone says like, man, I should have stopped you from partaking in the raids. He was a part of it. He contradicted himself in his own video. And then he says, and I was like, okay, so what about the Moopoke deal? He, along with other Discord servers, told me that you raided, or at least attempted to, at several points. Moopoke did come in and said he tried to attempt a raid at me at one point, and a couple other people came to me and said that he tried to either attempt a raid or dropped a bunch of wrong stuff in their Discord. He says, I wasn't attempting to do anything. In fact, I didn't even know who Moopoke was until he made that tweet about me. And that also contradicts what he said in this video, because after all the evidence and all the shit, all the screenshots and stuff he had made about Moopoke, and the fact that the false Kaizou account was in the Moocord, yeah, he had something on Moopoke. He knew who he was. And I said, but you mentioned in your video about Moopoke and how he was trashing it in his own server. Like, he was dunking on Moopoke. He was just, you know, ragging on Moopoke on his segment of the video. And I was like, hell, half your video was about Moopoke, so you can't lie to me and tell me you don't know who he was. He knew he was. No matter how many times he wasted spinning, he had so much on Moopoke that he knew who the guy was. He knew who he was. He kept trying to say, well, I didn't know who Moopoke was. And he knew who he was. And like he tells me, oh, like I said, I didn't know who he was before I made that video. So once he decided to get his hands dirty, I looked into what he thought about others and did a little research on him. No, dude, you clearly knew about the guy. I can hear the salt from your voice, and I can hear all the shit that you had on, well, not here. I knew all the shit you had on him. You had enough to make half that video, so you had enough evidence on him. There was no little research. You had a lot on the guy. You knew who he was. And I left it about. I was like, you know what, whatever. It doesn't even matter to me. All right. Well, the Moopoke stuff doesn't involve me anyway. Whatever you have against him is between the two of you, regardless of what I had to say. Anyway, tell me what you're sorry for. And he says, as I said before, I apologize for the allegations that obviously went too far. Regardless of what happened, I have no excuse to deny that. And I am aware that it was wrong. And like, he just won't, like, he won't go further and even tell me like what he did, right? Like he said, oh, I apologize for the allegations that obviously went too far. But it feels like he's still holding back stuff. Like he's not telling me, dude, I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for all this. Like he's not giving me like an extensive thing of why he's sorry. He's keeping it as brief as he humanly can. And I was like, you understand I can't take my video or tweets down, right? I want you to know that because of what you've caused. Even if I do, other people have all the evidence piled up, tweets backed up, and the video on their own hard drives. Yes, I even asked a couple of people to keep my video down in case the video ever got taken down for some reason. I asked a couple of my friends, hey man, can you hold the video on just in case I delete it, like, or like I get rid of it, or like someone takes it down or whatever. If anything happens to this video, I have a backup. Even on my own freaking phone. I kept a backup on this stuff on my own phone just to make sure. Anyway, so deleting it on my end would be pointless. I don't gain anything from my videos other than people seeing what I do. And I definitely don't gain any sort of satisfaction from this stuff, none in the least. I literally gained no satisfaction from this crap like here. If I did, I pretty much wouldn't be any different from Sage, who wants to do this to satiate his own insanity, right? So like, I didn't make my previous video to try to say, man, dude, I really wanted to dunk on Sage. Ooh, no, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to defend myself and all this bullshit, because what kind of satisfaction do I gain from being accused of pedophilic actions caused by someone else who wanted to get me in trouble? What kind of satisfaction I gain from this? Nothing. And then he tells me, in my opinion, I find that very hard to believe considering you're planning to make another video on me. So please don't spread this any further, because I don't know what I'll do with myself if it gets worse. He is not sorry. He's not apologizing in a way a human being should apologize for shit like this. Like, he's not telling me everything. He didn't even tell me shit that I wanted to know, you know? He didn't apologize for the Discord raids, even though he was a part of it. He didn't give me any evidence about how he's been acting. Like, stuff like that. He never gave me anything. And it was as simple as that. If you were really sorry, give me something to make me believe you're sorry. Not just tell me words. Not just tell me words. It's Tool. He knew he was remorseful for his actions. He went out and tried to correct all the bad shit he's done. That's how I knew he was sorry. Abby even teamed up with us to try to talk to Rachel's husband and help him on this. I knew they were sorry about all this. So Tool cleared himself with me. He was legitimately sorry for what he's done. Sage was not. So I try to continue the conversation further. Last comment to him. And it says, I am only making a video covering my experiences with this whole issue and the problems I've had to go through in the past week. Scratch that, the past few months. I lost a good amount of my friends. People blaming me on shit for no good reason. My channel has been reported multiple times. Every notification I get nearly made my heart jump because I was scared of what was going to be told next. This video will serve as yet another warning to watch out for you. It is super hard for me to believe a word that comes from you because of the stuff you've been pulling. Even if you tell me you're quote unquote sorry about the pedo stuff, you still did it in the first place and had it spread around on purpose. I didn't write that on purpose, I just wanted to add that part. That doesn't go away. There will always be a section of people that think I'm some kind of creep, even if I've been proven innocent. Let me tell you this, and I felt a little bit of, I felt a little bit of, maybe if I can tell him something, maybe he might listen. This side of me is like, let me tell you this, take a break, step away from Discord and YouTube for a while, admit your wrongdoings to those in your Discord. And I was going to say more until he outright blocked me. He left the conversation and blocked me. And so when I tried to put his tag in again to try to send a request, I couldn't associate with him no more. And like, I wanted to see what he had to say further. I was going to cut the conversation anyway, eventually. But he didn't admit he was sorry. He didn't want to admit the things he did wrong. He only just gave me a veilly thin way of a sorry, and didn't even want to hear my side of it. After all this shit that's been going down, he still would not admit it. And I knew he wasn't going to admit it, honestly. I had a feeling he wasn't, because after all the stuff he's pulled, there was no way he was going to say sorry and mean it. No way. So, you know what? I figured this last conversation with him would have said something. Maybe it would have gave me some more insight on how he thought, or insight about what he did to cause up to this point. But I knew in the back of my head he wasn't going to like extend any gratitude towards us. I knew he wasn't going to talk to me seriously about it, and I knew he wasn't going to be serious about it. He wants to just still be himself, and I gave up on it. That was the last conversation we had. He wouldn't admit anything. Like, how you gonna come to me and tell me you're sorry, but then, you know, he won't own up for what you've done? Like, and truly own up. You didn't try, you only came to me and tell me you're sorry, but you didn't go out and try to redeem yourself in any fashion. You didn't. At all. So if you were really sorry, you would try to redeem yourself like Tool did. He redeemed himself. Yeah, I still didn't trust him, and I still kind of have, you know, a little bit of distrust towards the guy. Because it takes time to heal this kind of stuff. It does take time for me to try to, you know, believe that someone would help me in this way. But considering what he did, he went to try to talk to people. He really did try to help around with the Google Doc. He tried to help. He knew things got too far, and he came to me. Tool is what DarkSage should have did. He should have came forward, said everything, told me he was sorry, told everyone that he owned up and did dumb shit, and called it a day. And I still probably wouldn't have forgave him, but it would have been on a road to him being a better person. And he had an opportunity to tell me, and he failed at it. So that was a longer video that it had any right to be. I will say this, and I really want to emphasize this point. Do not go out and harass DarkSage861. Do not go out and harass anyone involved with this video. Do not harass anyone who I name dropped in this video. Don't do it. Please, like, this whole thing needs to be put to rest. I don't want you to harass or bother with DarkSage. I really want to drive the point home further that all of this could have been avoided had DarkSage just not raid my Discord server the first time. Or at the better yet, admit his wrongdoings, say he was sorry, try to make up for it, and just drop the whole deal. But no. Ever since the raid, he wanted to go further. He wanted to fake pedophilic allegations. He wanted to Photoshop stuff to get me into trouble. He wanted to lie and manipulate others to try to make things look bad on my end. And when he had the opportunity to say sorry and mean it, he failed. He had a chance and just didn't take it. And even if he did say sorry and felt remorse about it, I could not really believe him, because he's been lying and acting up for so long that it kind of makes you believe that there is no way he really means it. Its Tool came out, and put other people involved with this. They came out and tried to help me clear my name, because they felt genuinely sorry for me. They felt genuinely sad about what they've done, and they felt that this has gone too far, with the point that they went out of their way to help me out. I was skeptical at first, but I went along with it to see if anything was going to happen, and it did. They talked things out with other people. They assisted with the Google Doc. They assisted me. They talked to it. It was good, right? And I'm happy that they did. Sage honestly should have took what they did and it did the same thing. He should have took their advice and stopped the whole thing and came forward and talked. He had a chance to tell me about raiding my Discord, about doing all this stuff. He had the opportunity to do so, but he didn't mean that he was sorry. He won't admit that he told me that he partook in the raids, even though he did. He won't admit that he wouldn't admit it. And so, yeah, that's the end of the video. I apologize for it being so long. I apologize for repeating a bunch of stuff. Honestly, this video was a lot more emotional for me to make than it had any right to be. I am not the best speaker. I stutter a lot. I stall a lot. I mess up my words a lot. So if you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate you doing so and for putting up what I had to say. So thank you, everyone. Please stay away from DarkSage. You know, if you're subscribed to him, please unsubscribe. If you're in his Discord, please leave his Discord, because I don't want him to do this to other people. I don't want him to attack other people anymore. I don't want him to harm anyone anymore. I don't want to be associated with him anymore. I tried to talk to him and give him one last chance, and he didn't want it. So I'm out. See you all next time. Peace out. Have a great day. See you all later, everyone.